Some of you I know in real life, some of you I probably don't. But we are going to finish up the rest of this painting. And I wanted to take this moment to talk about this idea of inspiration. And I titled this, I try to make a polite title. What I really wanted to say is, don't watch me, go make art. But, I realize that there's a lot of people who are watching, and, I don't want to make assumptions that, people may or may not be making art or whatever. But I was sitting on my couch the other day, procrastinating on making a piece of art. And but I opted for a more polite title, by the way. But I was sitting on my couch the other day, and I had a couple ideas of paintings I had in mind that I wanted to make. I was sitting on my couch and I was procrastinating, and I was like, oh, I need to buy another book. I need more inspiration. I need more ideas. I need some more technique. I need to read more biographies. I need to learn a better technique. I need to try something different. I had all these ideas going on in my mind, except for painting the thing that I wanted to paint. I was sitting on my couch and I was like, oh, maybe I should go to Barnes & Noble right now. Let me go to Barnes & Noble and buy another art book. Let me go on Kindle and buy another art book. Maybe I should buy a physical one. Should I buy a physical one or should I buy a real one? Or, maybe I need some more art supplies, or, maybe I should shop for art supplies and come up with a new idea. So I had all of these things going on in my head, except for doing the thing that I wanted to buy those books for, and that was simply just to paint. And at some level, I sometimes find, and by the way, I'm not necessarily talking about anyone specific. I know, for those of you that come here regularly, you're all here for different reasons. So I'm speaking in general senses, where I hope that, if anyone ever watches this live stream, that I hope that it's entertaining, but I also hope that I can help people beat procrastination towards their art. Like, if you have an idea, go do it. Don't watch this live stream hoping to get another idea or whatever. If you're seeking ideas, then maybe this live stream could be helpful, but I think part of my goal as a live streamer isn't just to show off the work that I do or show off painting or technique or whatever, but it's also to help others either overcome their limitations, overcome their procrastination. And some people just want to be entertained, and that's cool too. But I think with my experience the other day, I get quite a few artists that pop into here. And my experience the other day, just sitting on my couch, trying to seek answers, trying to seek ideas that I already had, trying to seek better ways of doing something. I feel like it came from a place of self-doubt, call it insecurity or self-doubt, of sitting on my couch, which is what was making me procrastinate. And I hope that when people come here, when people watch my live stream at some point, they don't feel like, oh, I have to get more ideas, I have to get more of this, I have to get something that I don't have, right? I hope that people that come here to watch this live stream just are like, whoa, okay, I've got an idea, I should just go do it, and I'll come back to this live stream maybe some other day. But that's some of what I hope. And as far as my live streaming goals are, it's not to keep people watching forever. It's to, connect with people in the YouTube community, share the stuff I do, and if you want, and entertain if you want to be entertained. But at the same time, if you're an artist and you're looking for inspiration, for ideas, for technique, I think more importantly, from that side, I really just want to help you be like, hey, yeah, that's something I could do. I'm just gonna go do it. What am I waiting for, right? That type of thing. But anyway, Omizu, puppies, dogs, and cats. What's going on? So Omizu, I guess it's funny. I talk on my stream when there's 0 people watching, and then once people finally come in, I like have already spoken my piece, and it's like I've already spoken my piece. But that said, I'm happy to reiterate some of the things that I just mentioned. Basically, what I was going over, or I was ranting about, was this idea of procrastination. And I think people come to my live streams for all sorts of different reasons, from being entertained to being bored to wanting to troll to wanting to criticize to just simply just wanting to hang out in an art community. So all sorts of people come see my live streams, and I think especially for artists, I thought about this idea the other day when I was sitting on my couch, and I kept saying to myself, I want to buy a new book. I should go to Barnes and Noble. I need to find a technique. I need to find, I have this idea to paint, but I don't know if it's the right time. Maybe I'm not ready. And I had all these things going on in my head, all these ideas, these ways, these things that I could do instead of paint. And at that moment, it kind of hit me like, hey, Emmett, dude, you're just procrastinating, man. You don't need another idea. You don't need more supplies. You don't need to read another inspirational book. You don't need to go to Barnes and Noble to buy a physical book, even though you have a Kindle that provides you with an infinite number of books that you can get digitally that don't require any space. So, as soon as I realized that I don't need that stuff, I mean, I'm not saying that not to ever seek new knowledge, but I was trying to seek inspiration from outside, and I think that it's just the procrastination, right? Like, there was no knowledge gap, there was no anything except just a minor level of procrastination, and I had to be honest with myself and call it what it was. So, those that are artists that visit my live stream, Omiza, I know you are one, but I'm speaking in general terms. This isn't specified toward you, but I also think I have a lot of younger artists, especially, who like to pop in, and maybe they're trying to look for ideas and stuff. But for those artists that feel like you don't have the idea, or you're looking for some sort of guidance, I feel like the greatest guidance comes from within. If something is calling you to draw, to paint, and you're saying things like, oh, I don't really want to, or it's not a good idea, or it's not the right time, it's too late, it's too early, I need better ideas, I need more technique. I think if you're watching this video and you have those thoughts going on through your head, I say, skip this video and go do the work. I'm telling you to overcome your own procrastination right here and now. And no YouTube streamer is ever going to tell people to leave their stream to go do what they've hoped to do, except for me. I'm sure there's YouTube streamers that have done that, but anyways, that's my message for the day. That's what's in the title, and I say it hopefully with politeness, in that sense, with politeness. But Omizu, you're a well-rounded viewer in that. Yes, you are. Yes. But all right. What's up, CL101? I'm just gonna call you CL101. And that's just my personal. Yes, live your dream and live your dream now, beat it. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's like, and you know what? Sometimes we do need to procrastinate, take a step back, hear a different perspective, hear ideas from a mentor, to hear this, right? Like this type of experience. Sometimes we need that. So, and you can't find that unless you're looking for it. But Ava, Ava, thank you so much. Thanks for enjoying the work. Thanks for popping in to share your thoughts with us. And if you have any questions, thoughts, what are your thoughts around beating procrastination? How do you feel about that idea of beating procrastination? Is it something you've ever struggled with? I guess I'm putting you on a spot with like a philosophical personal question, so don't feel obligated to answer. But I don't know, I haven't seen you in my live streams, so, I don't know if you know the format of this. This is a very, like, free flow format, like whatever kind of pops in my head ends up being like a discussion. And, it's not like Bob Ross, when Bob Ross can just like make every single one of his brush strokes and like turn it into like an inspiring word, like, watch as I lay down this stroke of joy. This red represents the essence of your heart, and allow these simple strokes to just relax you and calm you. So, I can't talk like that. But, and I end up just asking questions to whoever's here and seeing what y'all are up to. What's going on in your day? What is keeping you up at night, or what helps you to relax? But yes, I am nearing the completion of this project, which is very exciting. It's one of my longer projects, but not because it's difficult, but because it just requires like this extra layer of work, which is just trying to keep the edges really nice and straight and tight. So that's where the challenge really comes in for this piece. It's not so much like a technically complex piece, as much as it just requires a mechanical consistency or persistency. But yeah, and once you could do that, this painting's pretty straightforward. But it is very rewarding in the sense that I can slowly just watch it build up, and you just watch it build up, just line by line, kind of like, back in the day, the internet. I don't know if anyone ever had 56K internet who's watching right now. I don't know if anyone's ever had 56K internet. It's the internet that used to be slow, and if you were to like load a web page, it would just load line by line by line by line, and you would sit there for like 15 minutes waiting for a single page to load. And this is kind of like that. It's kind of like that. So let's see. Our friend Ava has shared a communication with us. You struggle with procrastination sometimes, but if you procrastinate, your mom will force you to work, so you get what you need to do. Awesome. Well, that's amazing that you have a mom that will help motivate you and get you to do what you need to do. And I think that's what all moms are around for. They're there to help us, recognize our, I don't want to call procrastination a weakness. In your context, right? I want to, they're there to recognize when we're not not living up. What's a good way to put this? They're there to help us become the best versions of ourselves in our lives, right? That's what moms are for. And so if they see us procrastinating, if they see us, more potential in us, if they see, all these great things and we're not doing them, it is very important for them to help us through that. And at the same time, that is a very wonderful thing that all mothers can do for us. So if you have a mom that can motivate you, that can keep you going, that can, help you overcome some things, that's amazing. So thank you for sharing that. That's a great experience that you have, a great story. And here we go. Let's pop off this area right here. But you know, I guess procrastination is quite common though. And you know what? Here's a question. So just to gain self-awareness here, you know, you said your mom. It sounds like your mom recognizes the procrastination in you. And then, you know, it sounds like you're more than willing that as soon as your mom recognizes that you're procrastinating and gets you to go do stuff, do you recognize procrastination in yourself and you just wait for your mom to help? Or, you know, do you just feel like you need an external force? You need something from outside of you that pushes you to go do something? That's a very philosophical question there, I guess, huh? Might be a little too deep for YouTube. I don't know. Is it too deep for YouTube? All right. So anyway, I am going in and we are working through this cat. I only have a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 15 layers, but some of them are really small, so they shouldn't take too long. 15 layers left. And honestly, I've been thinking about doing more of these, but I don't know if I want to. Like, I just feel like because it's mechanical, yes, I could create something nice. And by the way, Omizu, you gave me the word mechanical. I absolutely love it. I love that word for this painting, like mechanical. You know, I have all these ideas of like how a design could like be interesting, or hey, don't come in here, dude. So I have kittens who want to like get on my palette. That. Go. Psst, psst, psst. Hey. Psst. Go away from the paint. All right. He's so confused because he gets away with just about every single thing except coming to my paints. Get away with everything. And now he's so lost when I try to like push him away from my paint supplies. All right. He's gone. So what has been said? It's more like your mom would get angry. You don't do it. Oh, okay. Well, that's one way to get you to not procrastinate. So in case you find yourself recognize a problem with yourself, yet struggle to work on it unless you hear from someone else. Like, you need to hear the confirmation. That's interesting, yeah. Sometimes we don't know we have a challenge, right? Sometimes we don't know if we're on the right path to things. Sometimes we don't know if, you know, the action that we're doing is right. And that's, I'm sure Omizu can chime in there as far as the idea that these are very adult problems. I don't know how old all of you are. You don't need to share. You don't have to tell me. Your privacy is important. But, you know, these problems, some of the problems are much more for I guess older people, adults, I guess, to recognize. So, you know, I think I try to keep my communications for a variety of age groups, since I realize more and more, for some reason, I've set my YouTube live streams to be not for kids, but somehow I find younger audiences, and that's okay. But I also try to make sure to talk in a way that you know, is generic for I guess adults, or I don't know, but yeah, I guess we all have to deal with, I mean, you know, kids have Kids have challenges too. But here we go. So I'm painting this in, and it can be really tough to recognize what your personal challenges are, to have the confirmation of like, hey, is this a challenge that I'm facing, or is this not really a problem at all? Or sometimes we don't see what's happening within ourselves. It's really hard to be honest with yourself, like it's hard to say, oh, my art is bad, I should learn, or it's hard to, even in drawing. Omizu typing will be minimal. All right, cool. But even with like drawing, right? It's hard to look at a drawing that you've spent an hour on and go back and be like, and compare it to the reference and be honest with yourself and be like, oh, that's the issue. I see exactly what the problem is now. Let me go and redo it. We often try to go get someone else who we think is more expert than us to get the answer from. And I see a lot of those posts online where you can kind of like, where people say, hey, where can I improve? And it's great to look for improvement and things like that. And it's great to find mentors. But, you could tell sometimes people who post online haven't even tried, right? Like they haven't even really tried to figure out what was wrong. But I get it though. I don't want to. I'm trying not to criticize people that seek help. But also at the same time, I guess there's a lot of people who don't make the effort. I don't know. Who haven't put in effort to really get it or try themselves. But anyway, I mean, the internet's an interesting place. I spent a lot of time on it, as with many people in this world, and find a lot of my great ideas for painting on it. And as amazing as the internet is for creativity and sharing and marketing and all these amazing things, as amazing as the internet is, I think especially for art, the internet kind of has created this place where there's an expectation of doing good things like overnight. Like, you see a reel, we watch your painting reel that takes 45 seconds, and intellectually we know that the artist probably took hours, if not days, weeks, months to finish that specific painting, right? Just for example. And we know intellectually that that's the case. But then, like, I like to ask myself, like, I know that intellectually, I know that in my head, that if I watch like a 60-second clip of a painting video that's been fast forwarded, it probably only captures a short amount of time compared to the actual amount of time that the painting took. And I know that, I think it, but does my mind actually register that idea, is what I mean. Like, there's things that we know, there's things that we experience, but like when we see stuff on the internet, is our mind able to separate the difference between what's happening on the internet, like fiction, or not even fiction, like it's real, but it's just fast forwarded, versus the amount of effort it really does take for some artists to create really interesting works. And it makes me wonder, does my mind register? Because I even find myself sometimes like, hey, why can't results come faster, right? And I've listened to Vincent van Gogh's notes, and I often wonder about Vincent. I wonder if he was like, oh, why can't I become a better painter faster? Although you know, he probably had a lot of doubts because he did it for years and years and just barely got any recognition. You know, I think he was about to have one really good big solo exhibit just before he died. And here we go. So I'm gonna paint this down right up to the purple. Gonna come right up here. Get nice and close right here. Honestly, I don't think this is the best brush for this. I thought because it's like broad and flat, it might work, but it's kind of not sharp enough at the corner. So I'm gonna stop using this brush. And let's clean this off before we put it back and we get onto our next one. By the way, anybody want to know a great exercise that I learned? It's a mental exercise. And it's really, really simple. One of the simplest exercises that you can do each day. I mean, it's simple, but it's not necessarily easy, right? One of the simplest exercises that I learned that you could do each day to broaden your creative muscle, to enhance your idea muscle. And I think Benjamin Franklin had a version of this. So Benjamin Franklin, amazing inventor and whatever you want to call it. American citizen, great American inventor, Benjamin Franklin. He used a version of this exercise, I think. And basically the exercise is creating 10 ideas per day. That's it. You're trying to get your mom to let you sell your art, and you have to make a report on selling art. Well, that's a good idea. So how do you feel about that, Ava? Let's hear. How do you feel about the fact that your mom is making you write a report on selling art? And here's something amusing. So when I was a kid, my mom, when I would go on vacations, you know, here I am, a kid going on a vacation. My mom would make me write daily journals. So write a report, write a journal, call it whatever you want to call it. So you know, and I could not stand it. I could not stand writing every single day. I'm on a vacation. When I'm out of school, I was on a vacation where I just wanted to enjoy stuff. Every single day, I had to write 2 pages in a journal. And it was like my least favorite activity. I would get so upset about it every night. They would have to bug me and force me to write these journals. And, you know, and I don't think, knowing what I know now, I would have been able to change anything of myself. But I can see now, because I've read my journals, and they're kind of crappy. They would be like, I woke up this morning, and I went to go use the bathroom, and Grandma cooked these dumplings, and then we took a taxi. It was really hot. We took a taxi. We went out to this place, and we had some more food. And then this guy on the bus said something funny, and then we went home, and then I used the bathroom, and I took a shower, and I went to sleep, and now I'm writing this stupid journal. Like, I would write like that, you know? It's just, you'd think that going on vacation as a kid, well, no, I mean, as an adult, I think of going on vacation, I'm like, whoa, there would be so much to write about if I kept a journal. But as a kid, I totally missed that opportunity. And again, even knowing what I know now, if I was to tell my younger self anything, I probably wouldn't listen anyway. So I'm not trying to impart things or trying to, you know, get you to enjoy writing the report. I'm more so just like sharing that because but I think it's helpful now because I've written a bunch of books. I don't necessarily know if that helped, but I've self-published a lot of books. I enjoy writing essays on my artworks and things. So, um, the idea here, I guess, I don't exactly know my point here. What is my point? Uh, that just to share that story, and I think it's beneficial. I think it is gonna help you. Your mom sounds like a smart woman who is trying to help you succeed in the art world. Because I think in our world, you have to write stuff about your art. You have to, go out to all these different places and write about your art to people of why they should have it in their gallery. So that's a thing. That's a real thing in the art world. So if anything, um, I think in some way your mom is helping you with that report. So, you can take it for granted. I don't, think anybody, take it however you want. I'm not saying take it however you want, but, I think in that sense, your mom is really helping you in some way because maybe you don't use it for galleries or whatever, but I think it is really important. It's a really important skill if you're an adult artist to know how to write. It's an important skill. And it can go underutilized. Here's the thing. Artists are visual, right? Like if you can, the more multi-talented you are, the better. If you can write reports, if you can, do all these different things. And as a visual artist, I'm not saying that writing is important, but as an artist in general, exploring all the different possibilities of things that you can do, writing, instruments, math. Leonardo da Vinci was a genius, but he didn't just paint and draw. He was an engineer. He was a mathematician. He was a anatomist, biologist, electrical astronomer. Like he did all of these incredible things. And yeah, but anyway, how do you feel about that? You're fine with it? If it means she'll let you sell your art, then you'll do it. That's great. Amazing. So you're fine with it, but are you enjoying it? Do you find it tedious? Do you have to write a report for every single piece of art, or what's stopping you from writing your report right now so that you can go sell your art? Like it sounds like selling art is something you would do, but it sounds like you have not written your report yet. So, where's that? You got a disconnect there. And this brush is not working out so well because it seems to be a little bit too hard for what I need. I need to get myself a brush, or as I guess Mark called it, or was it Omizu, a brush comb. A painter's comb was the right word. Painter's comb. You know what? I need to do a nice cleaning of this brush here. So message retracted. Cool, that's fine. Message retracted. So I need to clean this brush. I feel like this brush is has been worn out of my own doing because I failed to like clean it properly. So here's how I clean. I have this substance. It's like a soap. It's called Master's Brush Cleaner. And all you need to do is mix it with some water. So I've got my water in a bottle here. And then you just rub it around in this substance here. And hopefully it comes off. I don't know. I feel like the water that I use has become so saturated with paint that it's not really going to work as well as I hope. But I could just get a fresh batch of water. And let's see. So here we go. Let's clean this up. Ava says, not allowed to write a report during the school week because she doesn't want to interfere. That's okay. Good. Well, you know what? Do what your mom says. That's all I can say. But good on your parent for caring the most about school. Although it makes me wonder, I'm not a parent, and this is like just a random discussion. But I wonder if there are parents that are like, that, you know, just say school first because they feel like they have to as a parent, that they would be a bad parent if they didn't say it. But also, like, you know, a parent who's like the parent of an athlete, a very talented athlete, and deep inside, they know that their kids probably, they really want to push their kid to become an athlete. And they want to say, you know, football first or soccer first, but they feel like they'd be a bad parent if they said that. So they just say school first and then whatever. Because we all know, usually athletes, once they get to college, like most of them don't do very much school at all. I don't know. But I'm not a parent, so I should not be instilling these questions into young or old minds. But then, you know, there's some parents who, I guess, they help to get their kids into schools that combine. So like an art school, or like, you know, an art college, or a performing arts elementary school, anything like that. I don't know. So here we go. Getting its paint off. Ah, there we go. That's great. Homeschooling is very popular. It seems to be much more popular nowadays. I know quite a few people that do homeschooling. But that must be a lot of pressure for a parent to do homeschooling, because you have to teach your kids so many things. And it's like, you know, as a parent, I guess you can only teach as much as you know. So I guess you got to know a lot of things. But at the same time, you know, you got to pick and choose how kids learn things. That's kind of interesting to me. But let me see if I can unravel some of these tangled pieces here. But here's me procrastinating. Instead of continuing on with my painting, I'm going to procrastinate by trying to separate some of these fibers in my brush. don't know how this always happens with these brushes. Like, I clean them. Now, if I was to compare it to like my earlier painting days when I first started painting, I would say yes, I probably did not clean them properly. But I feel like I clean them properly now, but somehow they still get these issues. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go with this. So all I'm doing is helping to separate these hairs. These hairs make the bristles kind of stiff. And if I can just separate the bristles and make them not stiff, it'd be great. But I don't even know if it'll last because it seems to happen quite often. I have the same problem with these brushes. Now, these are really nice brushes. They're really expensive. I mean, on a brush-to-brush basis. But for whatever reason, I cannot keep the paint out of them. For whatever reason. I cannot keep them from getting stuck with paint. And I clean them after almost every single use. And maybe that's why, because I'm just so rough with it. I use all the painting materials and stuff. Alright, I feel like that softened it up a little bit. You're homeschooled, so your mom's your teacher. That's why. Your mom's actually a teacher, but she retired. Well, that's perfect. It's amazing that you can have this relationship with your mom. Have her as your teacher, your mentor, your mom. So, good. Awesome. Okay. So anyway, we are coming in here, and let's keep going. Yep, this brush is the wrong tool for the job. So let's clean it off. I try to give it another shot. But it's just not working, so let's clean it off and then we'll move on to a better brush. A brush that will hopefully do the job much better. I keep trying all my different brushes. I try not to stick with just one brush. So many different brushes. So Ava, what type of artwork do you make? What type of artwork do you enjoy making? I know you said you're not allowed to work on your essay during the school week, but I don't know if you're not allowed to talk about your essay, what you might write in your essay or your report, whatever you want to call it. So what kind of report do you think your mom is expecting? What kind of report do you feel she wants from you in order to have confidence in you to go sell your work? By the way, that is a high level of confidence for, anybody who's still being homeschooled by their parent to be like, hey, I want to go sell my art, because as a kid, I would not have ever been like, hey, let me just make art because I could sell it. And maybe it's just a generation thing because, I wasn't really aware of all the opportunities to make an income. So to realize that, hey, you can make artwork and you can go sell it, that's pretty powerful. And that's I think looking from the outside, I think that is a a positive personality trait for a young artist. I mean, thinking now as an adult artist, you know, it makes sense, but thinking about myself as a young kid trying to figure out art, I would have never, it just would not have crossed my mind. So here we go. We're moving along here. We've got a few more. We knocked out 2 or 3 so far. You know what? I want to go with the black in this next section. I'm going to go with the black. So here we go. I think this is black, right? Said your mom wants to report on how much time, money, and other things like that, so she knows when you'll do your art, how much you'll sell for it, and how you'll find people to sell it. That's cool. Well, hey, that's basically a business plan. You're learning to write a business plan. That's good. A business plan for an artist. Anyway, go forth and prosper. Mom's teaching you all these good things. All right, so here we go. We're gonna paint down here. Everybody needs a good business or business plan, a B plan as they call it. You know, they have like science fairs in school, and I'm sure at this time in history, in our society, they probably have like, instead of science fairs, they have like business fairs where like kids come up with the best business plan they can, and you know, instead of a science fair, it's a business fair, and kids make up ideas for businesses. I feel like there must be something like that by now, but I haven't really heard of it. You know, I think most adults don't even have a business plan. For most adult artists don't even have a business plan. So the fact that you're writing one, that your mom is getting you to design one is pretty good. It's gonna help you succeed, to thrive, and to know how to overcome challenges when the time comes. So here we go. Let's do this. And our black has been laid down. This is a better brush for this. So let's get this paint off of here. Quadruple A was gonna say something. You're trying to think ahead because you want to sell art and be an art teacher in the future. Wow, what a goal. My goodness. Great goals. You know exactly what you want to do. That's fantastic. So Ava, since you're here, yesterday I was doing, I was having various viewers pick colors to put onto this canvas. What is a color that you like, or what is a color that you would enjoy that would go on to this section right above the black? I got this black right here. What is a color that you think should go into this next section that I'm about to paint into? You get to pick any color, even if it's black again. Any color. Whatever you think will look good, whatever you think will catch people's eye, any color. Purple. All right. So we're gonna put a purple against this brown. Let's do it. Purple against this brown. All right, let me find a good purple here. Got some blues. I'm gonna mix right into here. And I've got some pinks. That would go good here. Some more pink. Got a good pink. Let's get a little bit more pink here. Maybe add a hint of red. So this is like a pinkish purple, a reddish purple. Let's see if we're gonna get a little bit more blue into it. A little bit more of blue, this blue. See if we can make it more purple. Get the, as Omizu Paints says, ultramarine blue is more toward the purple end of the spectrum. And here we go. So, got a nice purple right now. How about that? A nice little pastel purple color. And that's what we're gonna do. So here we go. Let's lay down our paint here. Nice thick layer. People seem to love the color purple. I think purple. Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3. Oh, I really only have 1, 2, 3 or 4 purples here. I feel like I had more, but who knows? I should know, but I don't know. So let's see. All right, here we go. This is community. This is what I consider community-driven art. The community of YouTube. Whoever is on YouTube gets to contribute. Whoever stops by and chooses the chat or whatever can contribute to this artwork. And here we go. So we go right into here. Bring our purple right up to this edge and this corner here. By the way, if you're watching this live stream and you feel like you want to participate in picking some of these next colors, feel free to. Feel free to. Now, I know Quadruple A and Omizu have already given very specific colors that stand out. So, you know, I don't like to single people out, but they have already won one prize. So I want to give the option open to anybody else who's viewing this. But yeah, pick a color, any color that you feel makes sense, or a color that you think would look good in this next section. So this is like a very dark purple brown, and we're going to be painting across here. But actually, I'm going to be separating. Do I need to separate? Yeah, I'm going to separate the top and the bottom. Top and the bottom here. So we're going to figure out a way to do that, but we'll separate the separation here. So if anybody is in this live stream that wishes to have their favorite color or some color choice, all you have to do is just say something in the chat. Say the color in the chat. That's it. How easy is that? How easy is that? All right, fine. Quadruple A, it's a new day. You've convinced me with your 4 words. You've convinced me. If you do want to pick another color, you can. But, all right. So if you really want to, since you seem very enthused about it, you can. If nobody else speaks up, since it is a new day. And here we go. So painting across now. All right. Awesome. So Quadruple A, if you don't mind sharing, you don't have to. But, you know, let's talk about your next project. Let's if you want to, again, totally voluntary. You know, thank you for sharing how my post inspired you, how it motivated you, how it gave you some ideas. But, you know, what is it that you want to make? What is it that you feel like you're compelled to design? You know, is there a specific way that you're changing it from what I'm doing, or are you just going to try to do the same thing, a cat? And that's okay if you are. I don't care. I'm just curious. I'm just acting as an idea reflector, an idea bouncer, someone who helps you bounce ideas. So it seems like nobody else wants to add a color, but that's okay. I'll just do my own colors. Jeez. I wish I could read the lurker's minds. Let's see. By the way, it's totally okay to lurk. I'm not trying to criticize here. Lurkers are fun. Lurkers are people too. Oh, shoot. Okay, I need that purple again. And we're gonna paint right into here. All right. You're actually inspired. The idea was to make something related to the optimal stacking of 17 squares because it gives you the same. Oh, Misa can't paint this picture for me. Ah, Misa, how did you know that's what I was trying to do? How did you know I'm just a lazy artist and I just want people to come up with the colors for me? Amiza, you know too much. I don't know if I feel comfortable around you anymore. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go across this, and I feel like these arms are separated. So this arm's on this side. So we're gonna create a bit of dimension. This illusory. All right. Dude, quadruple A. All right, so first of all, I don't understand. What do you mean the optimal stacking of 17 squares? That sounds like a pretty complex piece of art there. The optimal stacking of 17 squares? My goodness. You must have a fascination with geometry and geometry, which that's great. Sounds like a challenging project. So, I have a lot of questions actually. What did you mean by 17 squares stacked? Is there like a way, a thing that I'm missing? Is that like a compositional strategy? And then you said struggled with drawing. So, how did you struggle with drawing? Like obviously you put the tape, right? And then you just drew on top of the tape or what? All right, let me look it up. Optimal stacking of 17 squares. What is this? Well, as far as I could tell, it looks like it's a meme. So more of a joke. I don't really get it. 17 squares and a larger square. So, okay, so it's a meme, it's a joke. You're trying to make something that 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 people need to know to understand. All right, about this next color. Let's see. How do we want to do this next color? I haven't done an ochre in a while. I want to darken this ochre a bit. So I'm going to darken this ochre I'm gonna add this blue, mix our blue down right here, grab our ochre right here. Let's see what color we can come up with. This is a good dark color. The next, ivory. Sabine, are you requesting a color? So you want the next color to be ivory? Like ivory black? Or do you mean like an ivory, like a white ivory type thing? What do you mean by ivory? Do you mean ivory black? Gave you an uncomfortable feeling. All right, well, you got to make something that speaks to you, you know. So out of curiosity, were you making that just so you could make a meme, paint a meme, or were you making that because the idea that math problem actually spoke to you? That's one thing I learned from my acting teacher. My acting teacher would constantly talk, like, there's this lesson, you know, it's one lesson in acting that I didn't really listen to, and it was to, when you work with a scene partner and come up with a scene, you need to both pick a scene and come up with a scene that speaks to both of you. Not something that one of you is just being polite and agreeing to, but something that speaks to you. And I kind of ignored that part of, I was just thinking about it today, that's why I'm bringing this up, but I kind of ignored the part where he said, you know, it has to appeal to both of you, not just doing it just to, like, you know, do the exercise. And I feel like that is actually relevant right now, as you're telling me, like, as you're telling me about this project. I'm like, you know, did it, the idea of this, this stacked meme, does that actually speak to you, or were you just doing it? And I guess part of the reason why I asked too is because you said that you gave up on it. So I feel like if it spoke to you, you wouldn't have given it up. Oh, a really interesting fact. Okay, well, good. I mean, keep going after it if it's something that motivates you, dude. Like, don't stop at an obstacle. Keep working on your drawing. Use a ruler if you have to. Get a reference if you have to. Use whatever you need to get it done. as long as it aligns with your own philosophy, right? Like, obviously, you could just get an AI to make it for you, right? To like try to figure out to get an AI to make it, right? So, you know, whatever your philosophy is, if you're against AI or whatever, if you need to trace to come up with an idea, I don't know, but whatever you need to get the work done, and you figure out the rest later. I'm actually not big on tracing myself, but hey, when I was a kid, I would trace my Pokemon cards. Like, I would set up a light and I would put the Pokemon cards underneath a really thin piece of paper and I would just trace the Pokemon cards. So Sabine, you said yes. I'm not sure. Yes, what? Are you saying yes to black or yes to ivory, which is like a white? Because real ivory, the color ivory is like a white, but ivory black. So just trying to clarify what you mean by yes, what you mean by ivory. Okay, this section is done. But as y'all can see, I actually forgot to paint this little section here. It's supposed to be that really dark purple that you're seeing. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 4 p.m.
So Sabine, ivory white. Okay, so you think this next section should be a white. Okay. There we go. So we will make that happen. Let's make it a white. An ivory white is like an off-white. I guess ivory white is like, Alexa, describe the color ivory white.
Ivory white is a color that is described as off-white. It has a slight tint of yellow.
Okay, cool, just as I had thought. So what we're gonna do is we trying to think of what part I'm going to make white, because I want to separate some of the different things, some of the different parts of this painting. And this paw right here is in front of this other paw. So maybe I'll top off this paw with white and then make this part a different color, because this is the last remaining part of this paw, these last couple sections here. So yeah, all right, we'll start with this and make this a white. We'll make this our ivory white. So these are going to be 3 different sections here. We go, oh no! Oh, come on. Oh. So I totally screwed up because that piece of tape was supposed to cover this top part, so I didn't accidentally paint into it. But now I've taken it off. What did I just do with that piece of tape? This is what happens when you get lazy, people. And I can't even put this back on. So I'm kind of just have to guesstimate where this white needs to go. But this part will be ivory white, which is basically an off-white with a hint of yellow. Which, it'll be fine. This will be absolutely okay. Do off-white with a hint of yellow. Cool, you're going to Germany. You're from Germany. Ah, very fantastic. Germany. All right, so here we go. Let's grab our yellow, just a tiny hint of yellow. And we're gonna bring that into our white. See, it's not even like... All right, so it feels like this is a good ivory. It's just slightly off-white. Just slightly. If you compare it to an exact white, it's slightly off-white. So this is what we're going to work with. And let's get this tape off of my ruler here. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 2:12 p.m.
So Sabine, what part of Germany do you live in? But you know what's good about this white though is that it's going to be easy to paint over once I need to. Once it gets to this section where I forgot to, or I left the tape on. It's a pretty good ivory white, I should say. I would say. It's a good ivory white. And then we go like this. Bring this across again. And there we have it. We've got our ivory white laid in. So Italy and many other places your mom's planning, and we're going to be there for 23 days. How exciting is that? That's the tip of this paw. So we're gonna go to this other section right here. And this will be an even different color. And for this one, we're gonna go with a off pink. Let's do that. I'm gonna add some light colors here. All right. And then we have one more section. We're going to go with the head. can we use this color? I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna go. Let's go with an off silver here. An off gray for this head. It's not an off gray, it's just a gray. Why am I calling it an off gray? So here we go. Okay. Alright, next section. If anybody else wants to pick a color, a cool color. What am I dressing for Halloween? I don't even know yet. I usually make my own masks. But they're not like good masks, they're like cardboard masks. So I don't actually know. I haven't really thought that far into it yet. My girlfriend loves Halloween. But usually I just try to come up with a costume before, like the day of or like a night before, just so, you know, I keep her happy. But I'm not like, hey, I gotta dress up for Halloween. It's not my most favorite holiday. All right, let's go. I got the steel blue. Steel gray. Let's go with some green here. We're going to go for a steel green, a steely green. Steely pastel color. Every Halloween costume for next 3 years. Magenta. So magenta's like what, a purple? Some of these like color, how would you describe magenta using the regular color names? Like there's some colors that I just can never figure out, like magenta, maroon. Magenta, maroon. Those are colors I have difficulty with. Magenta, maroon, and magenta, maroon, and it's probably a couple more. But anytime I hear like certain colors, the only way I can figure it out is if I'm able to describe it with like other colors. Like, you know, I can't just be like, oh, magenta. I know that it's a mix of these colors. Like, I actually need to either see it. I mean, I guess I could just look it up, but pink, blue, purple. So pink, blue, purple, and red is magenta. Okay, that's basically pink, blue, purple, red. Well, that description is good enough for me. So we'll go ahead and play with that. Pink, blue, purple, red it is. Unless Sabine wants to chime in with her preference of her version of, or their, I don't know if Sabine is a hers or a his name, but Sabine wants to chime in with what she feels should be mixed to achieve magenta. I am here. But other than that, we'll play with the, so pink, blue, purple, and red. Okay, let's go with that. So pink is just the red though. So basically you need a light red mixed with a blue and a purple. Is that light red mixed with the blue? I mean, a red and a blue are just going to make purple, and a pink is just, red is just a light white. So you're using a light red mixed with a purple that's more blue? Or it's like a light pink mixed with the blue and some purple. Some extra purple. Okay. We'll figure it out. Like, I have an idea of what magenta looks like, right? It's some type of purple. I can picture it in my head, but I don't know the difference between magenta and maroon. And I can't picture it in my head right now. So I'm going to make it up based on the way you described it. And I'm just going to, like... How would you describe the composition? Would you say it's like 2 parts pink, 1 part blue, 1 part purple, and like 2 parts red? Like, if you had to put it into like a food recipe, how would you describe the quantities of each of each? Honestly, it's okay if you're wrong, because I don't even know exactly what magenta is right now. So, you know, you got me beat there. Is it red? Is it purple? I should just look it up. Three parts red, 1.5 parts purple and blue. Okay, so mostly red with slightly more purple and blue. Okay. Well, let's play with that. All right, here we go. Mixing, got my brush here. So mostly red, and that's like what kind of red? Because I have a Azo, very light, bright crimson red right now. But let's try it. So 3, 1.5 purple, and then some blue. So I got that purple right there. Let's add a big chunk of red into that. And then we've got this color. And again, I can picture maroon kind of. Like, I'm not certain if it's like more on the blue side or more on the purple side. Like, I know it's like a darkish reddish color. Or some, like a form of brown. Or I guess like a red burnt umber type of color. Magenta. Did I say maroon? I think magenta. I don't know. What about, is this a magenta? Would this qualify as a magenta right here? Let's see if I can find a good, this background is blue. It's not a neutral color. I might, it's like a purple. It's like a reddish purple. It's definitely more red. It's a little bit of purple, and it has a hint of blue in it. All right, well, we're just going to go with this because I'm just going to go with that unless anybody has any objections. All right, that's magenta. Well, good description. Good job explaining, Ava. You are a color pro, obviously. You are someone who is very good with color. If you're able to describe it that cleanly. And oof, I'm trying to think of how I really want to separate this head here because I need to paint into this little section right here, but it needs to be separated because it's a different part of the arm. So I don't know, I probably should have done this little section first, but I already had the magenta, and I want to give the magenta a nice space to fill. Okay. And here we go. So we go right here. Our beautiful magenta. Honestly, I kind of want to look for the color magenta and compare, see how close we got. Because again, I have an idea of what magenta is, but if you were to tell me randomly, like, hey, mix the color magenta, I wouldn't actually know. I would just like pick reds and purples and then hope that somehow it came about, kind of like what I just did. So let's figure it out. Let's look up magenta. Oof. You know, according to this, we're actually way off because the magenta is like a lot more pink. It's like purplish red. I mean, I guess this is a very dark. Yeah, pretty off. I don't know. Like it's almost like this magenta, but it's a much darker shade. And now that I look at it, it's kind of almost brown. Well, magenta. Oh, people, I have a magenta. I have a color that's called exactly light magenta. So I might as well just use that. We'll use that next. So magenta is almost like a pink. I don't know why they don't. It's like a very light pink. But it also has hints of purple. You're right. It has these hints of purple. So I would say after comparing, I'm not too happy with my creation of magenta, but I would say that this could be passed for a very, very, very dark magenta. But I don't think it would pass a class where a teacher was like, hey, give me magenta, and that's what I gave them. But anyway, let's go. By the way, I don't think I'd be able to make magenta if I didn't have the color prepared. So I actually have a color that's like magenta. But it's a very like neon-ish color. And honestly, I don't. I guess the what is CYM, cyan, magenta, and yellow? Are those the colors for CYM? The CYM color palette? Like that's all digital. That was a digital color palette, I think. Cyan, magenta, yellow. And that's the one thing about regular physical painting that is a big limitation. You can't achieve the same types of colors that you can on a digital screen without light effects. But anyway, here we go. All right, take care. Next is light ochre. So I'm actually going to use the light magenta just to get into this section right here. Since I have it, I'm going to have this light magenta. I have the color, so we're just going to place it into here. And you said Sabine. So Sabine, hey Mark Dietz, what's going on? So Sabine, I've taken a few requests, but I am mostly doing one person, one color per day. So I know you've given a couple, and I know this is fun for participation. So I'll do one more, the light ochre. But I'm going to try to give other people a shot at giving a color. Mark, how you doing? You have any color preferences? I'm going to do a yellow ochre next. I've been getting suggestions from our community here of what colors I should do. And right now I'm working on a magenta. And then next up, we're going to do a light ochre. And then, I don't know if you have any ideas of what you feel, how you feel you would like to color this. What you would like to see as a color on here that represents, that symbolizes you, that that gives us a piece of you. What color would it be? Let's go ahead and mix this magenta with some orange. We're going to go into here before we get into our ochre. If you like, Mark, you can pick a blue and yellow. By the way, the magenta was a pre-mixed magenta, so I did not mix it myself. fortunately, I had the color sitting around. It's a very hard color to make. I mean, it's like neon pink almost. So let's go for this light ochre, shall we? I have an ochre ready. And since I have this ochre, let's mix in some of our ivory. And maybe a little bit more ivory to get this color, this light ochre here. So Mark wants to represent his Alberta, so we're gonna go blue and yellow next. You know what? I'll even be able to stack our blue and yellow on top of each other. How fun is that? Okay, so we got our ochre here. We're gonna go This is actually ochre with a hint of orange. A light ochre with a hint of orange. Just FYI. By the way, I'm so glad that I get to get ideas from you wonderful, wonderful artists and even non-artists, because these are color combinations that I don't think I would have. I mean, you know, I would have thought of other combos, but I think this creates for a unique color combo because it's not all just one mind. You know, it's not all just coming from one mind. It's coming from multiple different minds. This piece. And here we go. We're almost done. We are almost done here. And you know what I get when I finish? A pat on my own back. All right, so I'm gonna pat myself on the back for finishing this and make a post about it. So that I can get the feeling that people care. And it does make me ask the question, would I still be an artist if I didn't have social media, if I couldn't share my work session by session and, you know, engage people in conversations about it, no matter how minimal? All right, so we got our ochre. Very nice. And a cat on my back. Yeah, I do get a cat on my back. I will get a cat on my back once I'm done with this. A pat on my back with the cat on my hat. Okay, so we're on to this section. We're gonna do this section blue and red in honor of Mark's love for Alberta. Or blue and yellow, I guess, right? It's actually blue and yellow. Have I had that color combination yet? Wow. There's not a single section where blue is on top of yellow, or blue is even directly under yellow. I mean, right here there's a little bit of blue and yellow, but it doesn't necessarily have, you know, isn't it fascinating how many combinations of colors you can possibly have? I mean, it's basically infinite. Like, there's an infinite variety of colors if we use, you know, if we consider the whole range of color spectrums, an infinite variety of combinations of colors that we could possibly have here. How incredible is that? That is fascinating to me. Now, infinite's a huge number, so wrong number to use, probably, but there is a massive number of color combinations that we can have with this type of painting. I mean, with any type of painting, but this one specifically, you know, just when you think you've, like, you know, used a couple colors together, like just when I think I've used blue too many times, or just when I think I've used red or green or whatever color, just when I think I've used that color too many times, you know, you realize that you haven't used it in a combination, in a certain combination. So it's kind of neat to, like, discover, to have this process of discovery. So, have I ever had a full-grown cat jump on my back with full claws? No. I have had a kitten crawl up my leg with claws, but I have not. Let's see, I'm gonna look at the Alberta flag. I just want to see what kind of blue this is, because whenever I think blue, I just think ultramarine. That's my instant go-to. All right, actually, ultramarine is a pretty good blue for Alberta. And ultramarine is a pretty good blue for Alberta, so we're gonna go with that. And let's just. Yeah, rude awakening. Yeah, no, cats are cats definitely are quite some sophisticated predators, to say the least. You know, like I watch my cat hunt or my kittens hunt or whatever, and I almost feel bad that we've domesticated them because they're so natural they're patient, they have incredibly fast reflexes, they're observant, they're smart and intelligent, they can work in packs if they need to. Like, it's almost sad that we've domesticated cats because their natural tendency is to be this absolute brilliant predator of an animal, this brilliant hunter of an animal, and somehow we've committed them to lives of domesticated creatures. I mean, obviously their lives are probably better when, you know, the fact that we keep them alive in the house. But again, I almost feel bad. Like, cats are so intelligent, they've basically turned humans into their pets. We don't own cats, cats own us. Totally joking, by the way, people. I know some people may feel sensitive about joking that an animal is own us, but I don't know how many people take jokes too literally in here. Hopefully not too many, but you know, I think there's an argument that could be made that cats own us. All right, there's our blue. Yeah, you have 6 of them? Dude, you got 6 cats? Holy. Did you rescue all of them? Like, how did you come to have 6 cats? Because obviously you did not go out and get each cat one by one and were like, hey, I gotta buy this cat, 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 I gotta buy this cat. That was six of it, right? It sounds like a lot, but like, obviously they chose you in some way, right? Your cats picked you. How does one come to be the lucky servant of 6 wonderful cats? Sorry, I don't mean to call you a servant to cats, Amizu, if that's just kind of joking there. Because that's how cats treat you sometimes. You're like, hey dude, it's time to eat. Wake up before I, you know, claw your face for the next half hour to get you out of bed. Some rescues, few strays you picked up. So your cat, oh yeah, you made it, you said. So as a baggage handler working in a bag room, a freight driver dropped a cage off to be inside. It was very cold. Cat inside was making strange noises, so you opened the cage. Oh, that's nice. It grabbed onto your chest, sunk its teeth in your arm. Then you read the sign, "Baby Siberian." Dude, that is not just a cat, man. That is a literal apex predator of the wild. A lynx is an apex predator of the wild, dude. You were attacked by a potentially dangerous animal. If it wasn't a baby, it would have been very, very dangerous. Siberian lynx. Yeah, dude. You're attacked by an apex predator of Siberia. Second only to a human, and maybe a bear. Alexa, what is Alberta's anthem?
Alberta, our home on the range, is Alberta's provincial song. Adopted in 2005, it was chosen to represent the province in preparation for its centennial celebrations.
Alexa, can you play Alberta Home on the Range?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, play Alberta's anthem.
Alberta Anthem and similar songs on Amazon Music.
This sounds Alexa off. That is definitely is that how Alberta's anthem starts? That sounds like a 70s a 70s disco jazz song. I think Alexa misunderstood what I was trying to ask for. Alexa, play Four Strong Winds.
Four Strong Winds, 2016 remastered by Neil Young for Spotify.
So, Mark, are you trying to say this is Alberta's anthem? Neil Young sings to the spirit of Alberta? I would have never thought that. Okay, I need to cover up this. All right. Well, Neil Young. So would you say, Mark? Oh, wait, this is a remix, I think, right? By Neil Young. So the original probably wasn't written by Neil Young, right? Alexa, is Neil Young Canadian?
Neil Young is from Canada.
Ah, that's why. Alexa off. All right. I always thought Neil Young was an American artist. I guess not all great things come from America. Some great things come from Canada. There's great things from every country. So here we go. Let's we're moving along here. We only have a little bit left and I don't have to stop. Alexa, what time is it? Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 2:58 p.m.
Honestly, this blue and yellow ends up looking more like Ukraine, which, you know, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know if does it capture Alberta? I'm not sure. But anyway, we're all good. So let's keep going. We got another color now. Let's do a green. Da, 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 da. All right, so we're gonna bring out our green here, grab our yellow, and make this a more light green. That's what we're gonna go for. Grab some of our white, brown. Grab some more yellow. Alberta is an awesome place, an hour drive from Calgary. You can be in the Rockies, foothills, plains, or Badlands where it feels like 160 million years ago. Mark, it is very clear that you do love nature, don't you? You love nature. Your artwork is about nature. You love Alberta, which has a lot of nature. You are a nature lover. That's amazing. Nature's a wonderful place. So, Mark, do you have any of your paintings up out in Alberta? I feel like Alberta would be the type of place that would, like, you know, heavily support their local artists, such as yourself. When I was in Vermont, I don't know if you know where Vermont is. Vermont is a state in northern United States that borders Canada on the Montreal side. And when I was in Vermont, I know Vermont is United States and not Canada. But it's a smaller state, and I was just so amazed. And it's very known for its beautiful nature, and that's why I'm comparing it and thinking of it like Alberta, as you're describing it. And it's such a beautiful state as far as nature goes, and there's a lot of support. They have a lot of support for their artists. And my girlfriend, she just got back from Alaska. And she was talking about how in Alaska, she was trying to like talk about my work and try to see if anybody in Alaska would take my artwork in Alaska. And she was saying how they're like, you know, they really only take art from Alaskan artists. That's who they support. So I thought that was interesting. But anyway, awesome place, yes. And I don't really know what the Badlands are. That sounds fun. The Badlands. The lands of the bad. Land of the bad. Around plateau where you can see the Rockies disappear to the United States and recede north 600 miles of space. Emo Dobby, yeah, I was working on this yesterday. How are you, Emo Dobby? Thanks for stopping by yesterday, and thanks for stopping by again today to see the final episode of this painting. We're pretty much done. I'm only gonna be painting a few more sections. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but these sections should go pretty quick. But Mark, that sounds like an amazing place. You know, Mark, the most amazing thing that I thought about, so I live in Los Angeles, you know, it can be a smoggy city, lots of cars, pollution, fire smoke. And the thing that I loved about it during quarantine, when, you know, COVID was pretty heavy, was that you could go out and you could see just how far people in other parts of the world can see, because you could see like the whole city because there was no smog, nothing, because there was no cars on the road. And I thought that was absolutely fascinating. You could see the beach from like 30 miles away, which might not sound fascinating, you know, if you live in Calgary where things are always quite beautiful. And, you know, things are beautiful in LA for a city. But for a city like LA, that is quite a treat. So, Emo, Dobby, what's going on with you? How are you doing today? This is a Tuesday, and I have to go to work in a couple hours, but I fortunately am able to finish this painting up tonight, or right now, this afternoon, before I head into work. Lucky me. But hey, Dobby, I'm doing fantastic. You know, you do have an option here. I don't want to put you on a spot, but you know, for viewers who are here, I've been letting them pick colors. So if there's a color that appeals to you that you would like to see in either this spot or one of the next spots, depending on when you answer, I'll go ahead and put that in. And it is my thank you, as well as my yeah, it's a little thank you and a representation of this moment in time of community-driven art. So, as a thank you to those viewing. So, here's a question: have I ever seen space in a city like LA? Some have never seen the night sky in all its glory. You know what? So it is possible in LA. Maybe honestly, probably not even as good as what you're saying in Calgary, but in a city like LA, you have to really go far out, because I've been in a desert, and I guess technically that's not even LA, like Palm Joshua Tree. So if you go to a desert area like Joshua Tree, you can see, but I feel like what you're trying to describe, it's quite rare. Like I think you definitely cannot see it in Los Angeles. You have to like go up super high in the mountains into a different mountain city, or you have to, you know, there's observatory areas, but it's very, very rare, if that. So to answer your question, no, probably not. I have to go out of LA if I want to see the beautiful sky, and that, I don't even know if that counts as space. I don't even know if what you're asking counts towards what you're asking, because 'Cause you're talking space. I'm talking just like seeing a couple stars in the night sky. So quite a different experience there. Oh, by the way, Omizu, I made loco moco today minus the gravy. So I don't know how strict you are on the ingredients for a loco moco, but basically I did a hamburger steak, fried egg on rice, and made it for Kat, which Kat is my partner, and not a cat, but cat, and she hasn't eaten it yet. I finished mine, but I made hers so she could eat it when she gets home. But yeah, just thought I'd share. You inspired me to make some loco moco. Haven blue. Sabine, you love picking colors, don't you? Okay, Sabine, since you're so enthusiastic, I really appreciate the enthusiasm. We'll go ahead and do another color of your choice. Like, even though I can't hear how you're saying it, there's just this sense of enthusiasm that you're giving off. I don't know if I'm imagining things, but you have an enthusiasm that permeates through time and space, through the internet screen, and it is influential. So here. You were in the Northwest Territories with an Inuit girl. How to describe how beautiful it was. Stars seem so close, and if you could touch them and the northern lights, wow. Dude, that sounds so incredible, man. You know, so Mark, you just made me think of something. Like, so I live I live in Los Angeles. I grew up in Florida, which means I've always, pretty much my entire life, I've lived by a beach. And most of my life, I've been pretty fascinated. Like, now that I'm adult, actually, I only lived 1.5 years of my entire life without a beach. And, I'm constantly like, wow, I'm so grateful that I have had the opportunity to relax by a beach my entire life. And I almost and there are people who have never seen the beach, and that blows my mind. And it makes me feel like LA is such a great place, and it is. But also the way you describe seeing space and stars in the sky, it makes me think like, you know what? People in Los Angeles, unless like there was a major natural disaster that shut down all the electricity, that got rid of all the pollution, people that have lived in Los Angeles have probably never really seen the sky. Unless, I mean, obviously if they traveled out of town, right? But again, same thing. Like people who have never seen a beach have never left their towns that are by the beach, but not by the beach. You know, people who have never left LA have probably, which you know, I'd be surprised if someone living in LA has never left it. But you know, if someone has been in LA their whole life, they've probably never seen a real Albertan sky in the way that you described it. Oh, Mises, so it doesn't count, huh? I have to learn how to make the gravy. Oh, most of your paintings are Alberta. That's great, dude. And Mises, it sounds like you're pretty strict. You're pretty strict on the idea that Loco Moco must have gravy. So, I made a moco without the loco. I made a hamburger steak, an egg, and fried egg stir fry. All right, Sabine wants a heaven blue. So I'm thinking a heaven blue is just a very, very light, soft blue. So that's what we're gonna go with. Let's see, how do we grab some of this color here? And pull it more towards green. All right. So I'm gonna assume Sabine approves. This is super. I guess this is almost turquoise. A very light. Yeah, that's like a very light blue, right? Heaven blue. Looks a little different when. I guess the light changes as I add, you know, this in front of it. But I think this will pass. It's very baby blue. Jackie. Oh, TTPD. Jackie on pause. Hey, TTPD, what was the whole name again? I recognize TTPD, but I gotta remember the whole name in order for me to be familiar with TTPD something something. It was like there was something else to your name, but I can't remember. But welcome back. City LA EMS received thousands of calls from people wondering what the lights were. In the 80s, the lights went out in LA. Holy crap. Yeah, emergency EMS. Dude, Mark, there's got to be a gallery in some touristy part of that is just waiting for you to message them and be like, hey, do you want some paintings from local artists for the tourists in the area? And they will say yes. I can already see it. If you haven't already, I mean, something tells me you've already done something like that, but I don't know. I'm just going on here. Thanks, Jackie. But Jackie, you know, before I make you a mod again, let's hear, how are you doing? Let's have a conversation before, you know, just going into all of this. I'd love to make people mods, but I feel like as of recent, I haven't really, you know, mods are just for fun. Haven't really needed too many. And I feel like when I did have mods, my gosh, it got super crazy. Like one live stream when I did have mods, people got into arguments and fights, and it was just not good. I don't know if it's that time yet to have mods. And then I seem to fall in this pattern that every time I mod someone, they stop coming to my channel. Which, you know, that's cool and all. Like, it's okay for people to leave my channel, but it's like, they just want to be a mod and then they just never come back. I'm not saying that you would do that, but, and you're back. Things have been happening. TTPD Swifty. Was it? Are you sure it was Swifty? I feel like it was something else. TTPD in my something something. One day, Mark will. All right, Mark. Good to know. Yeah, it just makes me think of when my girlfriend came back from Canada. I think I just mentioned this, but I wanted to feel like it's important to say again. Like she was telling me how there was all of this art when she was in Alaska. So many artists, but they were all Alaskan local artists. And even when she tried to talk about my art, they're like, no, we just want to support our local artists. And when I went to Vermont, they were all very incredibly highly supportive of having local Vermont art everywhere. And you do paint some amazing scenes of Alberta that, you know, the average tourist might not even get to experience. And they're just like, wow, I need this piece of Alberta to take home because, you know, this is so great. But here we go. Got a couple pieces left here. TTPD era, yes. Oh, right, because Taylor Swift has that, she has that album, the something poet, something, I don't know. Anyway. Very good. All right. There you go, Jackie. Good to see you again. By the way, I can't promise to you know, keep you on that moderator status forever. I feel like I just can't say no when people ask me to be moderators. That I have to, uh, I have to like go through that list sometimes and be like, who's been around, who hasn't, and just manage the rotation of moderators. Now, obviously, if I had like 100, 1,000 viewers with like 15, 20, 100 concurrent people at the same time, um, I would. I mean, obviously, you taking the effort and wanting to be a moderator is appreciated. But at the same time, I also feel like, I don't know, there's not, at the current rate, there's not much moderating that needs to be done. So I don't mind just giving you the title. Yeah, that's cool. I'm almost done. I got like, let's see, maybe 10 minutes left, hopefully. See, this is a gold. What goes good with gold? The opposite with gold would be like a nice blue. I already have a blue. I've got got these ultramarine blues at least a few times. I want to go with a... What about a darkened ochre? Let's try this ochre. Nice darkened ochre. Omizu, can you be the first to get banned? Well, hey, Omizu, I gotta say this. I can't promise that once you get banned, that you're gonna be banned forever, okay? So, I just gotta tell you that, I probably will have a rotation of people that are banned. And, if you wanna... If you want to request it through one of our moderators, you can. Sadly, none of them are online right now. I think Jackie P just left to go eat or something. So you're kind of out of luck, Omizu, for now. No one is safe from being banned on this channel. You are all potentially bannable. Just kidding. All right, so here we go. Painting in this section. All right. This section is done. Ochre and black do not mix well together. For whatever reason, I think I've tried it a few times here, and it just does not make for a good color. For whatever reason, the pigments of ochre and black, or at least ivory black and ochre, whatever the pigments that I'm using, they just don't go well together. I don't know. I gotta stop attempting it because it's just not working. Purple and gold. Thank you, Mark. Put you in timeout, but I will never get rid of you. All right. That reminds me of I'm sure y'all know who Kathy Bates is, right? She plays the crazy lady in the movie Misery, the Stephen King movie. Kathy Bates. She did a speech yesterday, and she was talking about being a movie villain, and how after that movie she couldn't get a date. Makes sense. Yeah. But hey, that means she was a great actress. She convinced people to literally be afraid of her through her role. Through her role. That's pretty wild. That's amazing. Good for her. That's something she could be proud of. Oh, I have so many purples. So many purples already. I did a yellow. Got our orange. Got our magenta. Our light pink. Well. Alright, see, I'm even making cat noises right now. What's wrong with me? Let's go. We're gonna grab this yellow and mix it in with our heaven blue, as Sabine likes to call it. And let's see what kind of green we get. Ooh, this is a very pretty green. I love this green. It's like a very beautiful lime green. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use this color. Okay. Just trying to make this almost finished, people. We are almost there. This is so exciting. Something like 20 something hours. I mean, it's not even that long of a project, but for the level of complexity, yeah, the complexity of this painting, or not the complexity, like I feel like visually this painting is actually quite complex. Yeah, it's a lot of factors that go into making this look the way it does, right? Because it's stripes and different color combinations and all that to create this illusion, plus the multimedia with the tape and all that, and the pencil and whatever to create the effects. But the execution itself was pretty straightforward, right? And that said, yeah, it was a fun project. Actually, I don't even remember what my original statement was there that I was trying to get to. I think I was trying to say something along the lines of, it's simple, and it took a lot of time, but it wasn't like hard. I think that's what my statement was trying to go towards. All right. Who? Dark brown, Sabine. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make shadows on. I mean, I guess I could at later, but it's interesting you mention that, because I was wondering, like, after I'm done with this, what can I do to make it like pop in a certain way? And Omizu, you did say create an entire series. I thought about that, but I was like, do I really want to? Because this is a very time-consuming painting style, and I don't know. Like, I love the idea of just being able to take my brush and just being able to splash it all around, just make a mess. But I also do love the outcome of this, and I know it's easily imitatable on with digital, but I feel like the biggest challenge here is that very few people will put in the effort to make tons and tons of these. And also on top of that, if they use acrylic, it's much easier. But let's see, let's do a poll. What color should the nose be? It's gonna be a poll. What color should the nose be? Blue, reddish, bluish, reddish, yellowish, black-ish, oh, I can't add more than 4 options, so I'm gonna start a poll right now. And the poll is gonna say, what color should the nose be? So you have a few options. We're gonna go with either a bluish, a reddish, a yellowish. This nose right here, this is gonna be considered the nose. Bluish, reddish, blackish. Let's see. Got 4 votes. Gonna give it another 45 seconds. I don't actually know how to look at the. We're gonna give it another 60 seconds. 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51, 50, 49. Okay, only 5 votes. So let's see. We're gonna end the poll now. Don't need more than 50 seconds to figure out if everyone's done voting. All right, so the majority of the people said reddish. So 2 people said reddish, and then 3 people said one of each. So we're gonna go with reddish. Whoever voted reddish, we're gonna get reddish. So I'm gonna figure out. Let's see. What kind of red am I gonna go with? I'm gonna go with the reddish. I think I'm gonna mix our magenta into our red and see what we get. I mean, obviously it's probably just going to stay pretty red, but... Okay. And here we go. So... oh. This brush size is not conducive to size of this area. I said reddish, but this is pretty much red. I added a little bit of magenta in there. And a little bit of magenta. But actually, after I like do this one, you know, that the shape kind of looks weird. I think it's probably because I didn't separate the I didn't separate like the shapes of the head as much, except for the nose. But it looks weird, but it's kind of cute. You can kind of get the idea. Anyway, oh, Mark, take care, dude. Thanks for being around. Still pretty impressive, illusion-like. So did I fine line painting myself, or did I use objects around? So I definitely used tape. So you could see the tape. I still have the tape here. Getting rid of this. So I refuse to actually draw on a canvas with a pencil, at least for now. But I will draw on top of tape, which helped me to sketch this design. You know, one good thing about this series, Marie Ann Sorensen, how are you? It's been a minute. So the one thing I will say that's great about doing this type of painting is, at least for as a live streamer, it's very, I could totally make this very interactive. But I feel like if I was to keep doing a series like this, you know, it'd get pretty, I don't know. I don't know whether people would actually continue being like, yeah, let me pick a color. So I'm not sure, but anyway, let's get this section right here. We got our red, green, dark green, red. We go with what should go in there? Making up noises because I'm trying to figure out what to do here. So Marie Ann, why is there a pure white stripe in the middle? That is a good question. And that is for the future buyer to ponder over. The future viewers of this painting to ponder over. What do you feel was on my mind when I decided to put a bright white stripe right down the center of this cat. It is a mystery. Or maybe it's not so much a mystery as much as it is just a random choice. All right. Here you go. Let's bring in. Bring in a light orange here. Bring in a salmon color. Heard a great quote the other day. I can't remember. And by the way, I could be totally misinterpreting this quote, but I feel like something was like, good art is art that you look at and it hangs in your room. And, you know, it just kind of like looks nice in your room. Great art is art that you could keep looking at for years and years. And after many, many years, you wake up one morning and you look at it and you're like, whoa, I never noticed that before. And I could have that quote wrong. If anybody knows the reference, please feel free to correct me. But I think they could have been comparing something like something else, not great art versus good art, but something else. It was a really interesting quote because, yeah. Sounds plausible, right? Good art, the only difference between good art and bad art is, or good art and great art is art that you can wake up years and years later and you're like, oh, I didn't notice that before. Which, you know, I guess this big white stripe isn't something that you wouldn't notice. It's probably something that's very obvious. But you never know, maybe someone doesn't. You know, someone looks at this and they're like, what's wrong with this painting? Why is it distracting my eye? And they look at it, but they don't really notice until one day they're just like, there's a big white stripe going right down the center of this. Why did I never notice that? Almost done, people. How exciting is this? We're so excited to finish. This has been many days in the works. Almost a week. So let us grab our tape. I mean our tape cutter offer. So Marianne, how are you? what's new with you? I've been working on this painting now for at least a couple of days, the past few streams. I've been sharing the process, but you know what? I think I'm going to be finishing it now within... Well, I'm going to have to finish within the next 30 minutes because I have to go. But yeah, let's get to work, shall we? Instead of talking. All right. By the way, I wasn't saying that to you, Maria, and I was just saying that to myself. Pink. What should we put within the pink? What's a good color with pink? Let's go with this. We have that green there. I'm gonna go with a darker version of this blue, or a light version of this purple. This is a nice purple, actually. Okay. So we're gonna make the tip of this ear almost blend in with the pink. This could be a purple. Is that a good color? Yeah. It's not a bad color. Does this stand out enough? It's purple on green? Yeah, I guess it does. This is okay. Something different. Different visual effect from all the other ones. You know, we've got the contrasting colors. With just this last tip of the ear, we're gonna leave out the contrast and let it just kind of work its magic. Quadruple A. Well, hey, so glad that, you know, I was able to help you find something that called to you, that spoke to you. That, you know, made you stop and go, hey, that's kind of cool. I want to spend time looking at this. I want to participate. I want to be a part of this painting. And you definitely are. You've contributed some wonderful color ideas and thoughts over the course of this stream. And it's been a couple days, and it's, you know, been a little adventure. And, you know, I'm very excited that this is a painting that I was able to work with multiple people on in a way that, you know, engaged all of you. So that's fun. And I can only say thank you for giving your ideas of colors and input and all of those great things. And with that, I want to, what's our next color here? Let's do, I'm gonna go with a silver against this pink and green. Oh, you said you've never been invested in a painting like this before. I see. Okay, cool. I thought you said you've been invested in a painting like this. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, you know, it's kind of fun to bring you back to old memories or whatever. But you said never. So very fun to have you be a part of this. Yeah, it's hard to do this out all the time, but I think every once in a while we'll definitely make this a thing. or if anything, come up with more ideas of how to create community-driven art on YouTube. You know, art that engages multiple viewers, multiple visitors. That also, like, you know, I've actually thought about ideas before, like that before. So one time I was, so when I first started painting, I would go on Reddit, and I was like, on Reddit, I would say, hey, the first 20 people that share a word, I will put that word into a painting, or I will like paint an idea and create a painting that includes an idea of that word. So I did something like that. But that's really hard because you got to come up with like all sorts of. I mean, you could paint it so many different ways. Like if you want to be super expressionist about it, you could just make it not make sense at all and just literally just write the words. But I wanted to challenge myself and create like a composition that has some part of all the different elements, and because of that, the painting became really hard because they would give me some words and I would have to interpret it in some way. So that was really hard, and I don't think I would be able to do that live stream because it takes a lot of like planning. But maybe there's an expressionist way. There's a very free and open way to create some work of that sense in that style again on here. I don't know, but there must be. When there's a will, there's a way. So the real question is, do I have the will to do it? I don't know. We'll see. If I really wanted to, if I really needed to, yeah. But do I really want to do that style of painting? All right. So we got that, we got that, we got that. Red and green go together. I guess we could go grab our really viridian hue here. Yeah, a viridian hue, which we have not used in quite a while. Stop hitting it. Let's go. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. So I can stop sliding off. Sabine, you really love dark brown, huh? All right, we're gonna put a little dark brown right up. This is kind of dark brown right here, isn't it? Wouldn't you consider this dark brown? That's like a really dark green brown. I will be honest. I've been trying to avoid dark brown because I didn't feel like pulling out my Van Dyke brown color and putting it onto the palette. Let's do it. Sabine, we shall do a dark brown for you. A dark brown and the green would actually look kind of good because it's like a very wooded color. So we're going to lay down this dark brown. So we're basically taking this Van Dyke brown here, which is a very dark brown. And honestly, I heard a Van Dyke brown is actually not a good brown to use because however it works with paint just isn't good. But I'm gonna mix this dark brown with this green that we just used. And let's find, I would call it like a pistachio green. Well, this is probably the turquoise, but anyway, it's not going to be pure dark brown, but it's going to be a dark color. So let's do this. But this is where knowing your paints come in handy because, you know, you can paint a certain layer underneath and then know what colors the paint on top that will be see-through. If it's on Instagram, you might search it. Yeah, hey, Quadruple A, those paintings are on my Instagram. If you look on my Instagram at Huzzah Creative, that's Huzza Creative. So that's Huzza Creative. And you look towards more of my earlier paintings, you should be able to find it. There's one with an owl and then like usually they end up being pretty weird because the words that you get from people on Reddit are fairly unusual. And you know, that's even after filtering some of the really, you know, the words that you're not going to add. And I try my best not to filter, but you know, when it comes to those types of things, sometimes you just, for the most part, I didn't. I think I might have filtered like one word out of like 60 for those paintings that I did. All right, there goes the dark brown. Van Dyke brown. Yeah, I like Van Dyke brown. But I heard from from a painting book that they said that Van Dyke brown, there's way better alternatives if you're gonna look for a brown. Van Dyke brown's a beautiful brown. It's dark. And this is a Van Dyke brown that was mixed with something, so it's not pure Van Dyke brown, but I think it passes for dark brown. All right. So we're gonna do two more. We got two more parts of this here. We're almost there. Sarah McIntyre, can I use cerulean blue? Yes, I can. I will use cerulean blue. And thank you for contributing a color idea. So I have 2 spots left. I'm gonna make the very, very, very tip white. Or maybe I should do the very, very tip with a cerulean blue. Hmm. What's this? The point of life, maybe. Yes, the point of life is art. And that can be art in any realm. Art as a philosopher, art as a business person, art as a scientist, art as a parent. Yeah. Maybe art is the meaning of life. I don't know. Do we have the answer? So I'm trying to decide if the cerulean blue should just go to the very, very tip or just here. Sarah, I'll let you decide. So we're gonna do white. We're gonna do a white. One of these is white. So do you want the cerulean blue to go right here in this spot, or do you want it at the very, very tip?
Hey.
Hey, what's up? You're back. I'm almost done with my painting. Here, I got it. Careful. Omizu's stealing the technique. All right, cool. That is the greatest thing an artist could ask for, is that they have inspired somebody so much that that they want to use the technique. So, this is not my technique. And honestly, you could steal the whole thing. Like, you could even steal the interaction, because that's part of the art too. The interactivity is as much a part of the craft and this art, because without y'all, I would not make this, right? I would have a totally different color combination than this. It would have a totally different combination, because this fish would probably not be, it's not a fish, by the way. I don't know why I called it a fish. I guess it kind of does look like a fish, but it's not supposed to be a fish. The object would probably not be black. It would probably be some other color. I probably wouldn't have this brown here, because that was Sabine's choice. There's all sorts of things that would be totally different if I just made this in my own little vacuum of a world. But art is not made in a vacuum, people. Art is created in a society of people. I'm getting philosophical here. Sometimes I get in these states. The world is made of people. Duh. I'm having trouble with this last part, so let me find another brush here. Oh, this brush is too rough. Which brush will do this job? Maybe my fan brush? It's a little fan brush. Here we go. Do I paint only on canvas, or do I also use side? I've done one painting on cardboard, but that's it. Should be blue. Well, it's too late. I've already painted this part blue, so the tip's gonna be white. But you know what? Next time. Look at this blue. This blue's like not very dense, so I have a problem with it. How do I make it denser? Here's a good brush for this. Yeah. What? No, I did not feed them again. All right. Live stream. Can I show a smaller canvas with the excess paint when I finish this? Oh, yeah. Is this art for art's sake or for society? You know, Alfred, that's a great philosophical question, dude. And are you asking for my philosophical opinion, or are you asking for just to, hear what I hear? Or are you questioning the art itself? Does that make sense? Like, just asking for a philosophical opinion, like, so did you make this art for art's sake, or did you make this for society? Or were you referring to what I said earlier and just questioning whether this is actually for society or whether this is just for, maybe this is for society. This is for society. Because it's live stream, because it's interactive, I feel like more people should make interactive art pieces. I definitely do. I think the Tate Modern has led the way with this. So they made an entire room dedicated to a community piece where everybody can just make their own painting. All right, we got one more section left to go, and then we're finished. And I'm gonna start wrapping up. But it's pretty, Albert. You think it depends on the artist? You do art for yourself. I do art for myself, for society, for YouTube, do some art for the views, and some art for myself, and some art for commissions, and some art for various people that are in my life.
Let's see how we did with this. Oh wow. It's come a long way. Where's the fish?
It's not a fish. It's wherever your imagination believes it is.
A tie?
Yeah. Well, it could be a tie. Yeah, it's a tie. Why not?
Well,
Hey.
have a good day.
Yep, almost done
Good.
with this.
Oh.
Let's go ahead and paint our last very white section.
Uh-oh, toilet bowl. How was the hamburger steak?
Try it. You tell me.
Well,
All right. And here we go. All right, so quadruple A says, can we see the smaller canvas? Here, I'll go show the smaller canvas as I start to wrap this up. Clean off my brushes. But, as we wrap up, I just want to say, it's a lot of fun to do this project. I highly recommend it for anyone who just wants a nice, simple, easy project. And actually simple, but not easy. And it's not easy because it's time consuming. you know, I will admit, I got a lot of help from all of you. There was times when I was like tired, and you know, there was times when I was tired, and I just was so glad that some people here, some wonderful people here, viewers such as yourselves, or you know, people hanging out that are open to giving color opinions. And if I had to think of every single one of these colors myself, I mean, I would have, but it would have been that much harder. Like, just, you know, picking colors isn't always easy, especially when you have to pick over 100 of them for one painting. But you know, if you stick with certain types of colors, you can get it all this done pretty simply. But again, simple, not necessarily easy, and it can be very time consuming. But that's why most people probably won't do it. But here's the paint, the smaller painting that we painted on. So you know, I don't know if all of you were here for this, but one thing I said was paint should not go into the garbage. It should go on a palette. Alexa, off. So I use this to wipe off all the excess paint. But we'll be back another day. I'll have a new project tomorrow, or I'll go back to an old project. This is not the last of me, but I probably won't be doing a stream like this for a little while. And before I forget, I need to put my signature, right? I need to put my signature. So let's get some paint here and do some signature on the side. For this one, I'm going to do a signature on the side. You've not seen the last of Emmett Ferguson. And this is perfect time. I'm amazed at how much time it took me to finish this, because I was slacking a little bit this afternoon, and I have to get ready for work, and the alarm just went off just after I finished. So, you know, so many lessons. By the way, if any of you want to do a painting like this in the future, here's some quick thoughts. If I had to do it again, you know, when you put the tape on, you don't need to wrap it all the way around, because otherwise you have to like reach back and pull off each piece. You know, depending on your space and how you like to work, you could probably just like leave it a little bit off. But you know, that's not a big issue. It was only real annoying at the beginning because it kind of like got stuck behind the canvas. But not a big issue. If I had to do it again, I feel like I might do the inside first. Because if you do the inside first, you could paint to the edges, and it's much easier. And then, you know, you work on the outside, and you could just kind of like paint from the edge. But if you're painting within these two boundaries, it becomes a little bit more difficult versus just having one boundary. But you know what? You experiment, you play, you will find your way. And you will make a exciting painting. And there's so many ways to do this. Like I shared these ideas on my Instagram page, but you know, just think of all the different patterns you could do. You could do this with a circle, and it would look kind of interesting. You know, a circle. You could do a circle with vertical lines. You could do a triangle. You could do a head, some form of a head. You could do a series of buildings. You know, there's all sorts of things you could do. And you know what, this is easy enough where you just really have to figure out the design part of it, and it's abstract enough that, you know, it's like you get the idea that it's a cat doing something. And you know what, does it look exactly like a realistic cat? No. I mean, maybe it does, I don't know, but is that really the work? Who knows? But anyway, thanks for the stream. It's really fun. Thank you very much for painting. 1:20 a.m. I'm so glad I could entertain you into the morning in Germany. Sabine, so, all right, we're done. I'm done talking. I've been talking for 3.5 hours straight. Can you guys believe that? 3.5 hours. Huh? What, Cat?
I can believe it.
So that sounds pretty ridiculous when you actually bring it up, but I do it all for y'all. So, all right, everybody, you take care and have a great day. We'll try to. I don't know when I'll be back because I need a little break after this, but I don't know if the break needs to be a painting break or just needs to be a style break. So, have a good night, everybody.